What makes a hero a hero?
As you go, you see Morla ride into the smoke and disappear. Does Karp do it?
Well, she's flying high on her success, I guess, so I guess I'll do the counterintuitive thing, which is me thinking out loud. Karp loses no enthusiasm as she plunges into the smoke.
Mm-hmm. As she plunges into the smoke, it is pure darkness. You can't see a foot ahead of you. You can hear the chirps of Morla's fractal somewhere up ahead. You can still feel Waddle below you, but you just cannot see anything. And Waddle begins to slow down as she can't see the ground below her feet.
Well, she's a lizard, right? Don't they have keen senses of smell?
Yeah, but this is weird. There's
it dulls all the senses.
Yeah, you can't really. The sound is muffled. There's only blackness and the smells of growing seaweed and the town and carbon scoring and all of that. It's just gone. You hear Morla yell something vague. You can't really tell what she's yelling. It sounds like she's just talking to somebody. What's Karp's approach here?
Well, dumb Karp would stick her sword out and just poke whoever came within reach. But sharp Karp will not stick anyone with the sharp end of her sword. So, does my sword do anything special, or is it really just a sword? Does it emit any kind of light?
I mean, as far as you know, it's just a sword. It's not a lightsaber.
Okay. Oh, one of those would finally come in handy. I do slow down. I mean, obviously my waddle has slowed to a waddle, and nothing's really attacking me yet, right? I don't have any...
No, you can hear the muffled sounds of Morla up ahead, but that's all you've
I kind of just move vaguely in her direction and prompt Waddle to a canter. A brisk trot.
As you and Waddle move at a brisk trot, you see something glowing ahead of you. Red, almost like the glow of lava, in a humanoid, sort of, at least in height, humanoid form. You don't see Morla, and you don't hear her voice anymore.
I'm at a less brisk trot.
Okay.
Seems like the cautious thing to do.
Getting closer, you see that the thing that you are seeing is, in fact, person-shaped. And you see this glowing, fiery red from joints, and it sort of has like a glowy aura around it. It is about as tall as you. You see that breath mask, that respirator, that familiar armor, the person from the mural. This person appears to be Darth Escurus of the Dim Veil. They stand there facing you with an arm outstretched, beckoning you closer.
So, am I to understand this is what the Dims have been short for? The Dim Veils?
Maybe. But Karp could have that thought.
Karp has the thought. But I wouldn't know that would I be connecting the words dim and veil together in my brain at this point, or is that just an active narration, omniscient narration?
You might connect them. You saw that pyramid shape on the mural, the thing that they appeared to be digging up.
Okay.
There's probably a connection here.
All right. How many, do I get a sense of how many there are?
1.
Oh. Do I have the power to resist the beckon? Or is he using, I don't know, Darth powers?
They don't appear to be using any sort of ability in air quotes for Karp.
Okay. So, I mean, it's one of those very immediately malevolent things, and I guess I would instinctively try to draw my blaster and at least stun him. If it's a friend, I can just say, sorry, might be. And if it's a bad guy, I don't have to apologize. And so I don't know. This isn't the thing I think it's going to work, but it's the thing I think Karp or me, Nikki, would do in that circumstance is draw my blaster and try to stun him.
As you pull your blaster, you hear a voice emanate from the respirator. At last, the hero has come. Come, hero. Let us finish this once and for all.
So even though Karp has a pretty good idea of what the mural means at this point, she still does that thing where she looks over one shoulder and then the other shoulder to see if anyone's just standing behind her, and before she sort of accepts that he's talking to her.
Your friend was no match for me. Let's see what you've got.
Morla! I kick Waddle into gear.
Mm-hmm. As you kick Waddle into gear, this person extends their left hand down to the side, and some sort of blade, almost lightsaber-like,
Wait, they get a lightsaber and I don't?
ignites in their left hand.
Did the mural indicate that?
Yes, they had swords crossed in the mural.
Mm-hmm. I think the artist needed to be a little more descriptive. So he's got one end of his not regular sword at my friend's throat now, or?
Yeah, as you look, you see that Morla is on the ground next to him. I think it's time to roll initiative.
Okay. Wait, what's initiative again?
I think you're probably rolling cool.
Okay. Yellow and 2 green against what?
Dang, just yellow and 2 green.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Why?
That's how we do initiative.
Can I keep what just rolled on the ground?
I suppose.
I did the last time. I want you to visibly check it so that you can verify what just happened.
Just keep it.
Even if it's a triumph?
Even if it's a triumph.
Oh boy. Yes. So much initiative.
So you have 3 successes, 1 advantage. Morla on the ground has
One triumph. I want it to be known that one of those
There's a
successes was a
triumph
triumph.
Morla's got 1 success and 1 advantage. Darth Ascuris has 4 successes. So with your triumph, you get to either add something cool to the scene, or you get a free maneuver.
I want the free maneuver.
All right.
Adding something cool to the scene is your job. I have nothing to contribute.
So you get your free maneuver. What do? You get up close with this guy.
Yes, I get up close. That's my free maneuver.
He did roll more successes, so he's going to have the first turn. So you get up.
So I can't trample him.
No.
Which is
that would be an action.
I didn't know momentum was just going to carry me through or what.
You could, as a maneuver, get off your Vractal if that seems helpful.
We'll see. I've still got my extra maneuver, right? Or have I already used it?
If you're getting close to him, that's your extra maneuver.
Okay.
And then it's his turn.
Is that bad for me or bad for you?
Bad for me.
Mm-mm. Wait, which you? Morla you or Darth you?
So Karp and Waddle charge Darth Ascuris. And as they do, Ascuris raises his lightsaber. That getting close to it, you see it's not a lightsaber. There's something weird about it. There's something weird about this whole thing, about this guy, about the thing that he's holding, about Morla on the ground. And as you approach and swing your sword at him, it seems like you're swinging your sword at Snoober.
No!
I need a
Snoop.
1 red, 1 purple fear check.
Do I roll anything else? My cool?
Cool or discipline.
Does the sword have a name? Can I give the sword a name?
The sword does not have a name, but you can give the sword a name. I have
a good name for the sword. It's very Legend of Zelda.
Okay.
The Blightsaber.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on.
Wait,
can I count that as part of my last triumph?
The bad guy's
I get
sword?
to name the bad guy's sword. Yes.
Okay.
It's a Blightsaber, not
Sure.
mine.
Yeah, I'll take it.
It's a great bad guy name. Mark's frown just turned upside down.
Oh. Okay.
Did everything just cancel out?
No, so you got 3 failures, but 2 advantages. So what that means is that you have a setback on all the rest of your checks against this guy.
Okay.
You have 2 advantages. Do you have any ideas for them?
I can see his movements pretty well this close up. The fog doesn't seem to obscure him quite so much from this distance.
You thinking that's a pair of boosts on your next roll?
Sure. Yeah, because I can clearly see what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Do I get another one?
Do?
Oh, wait. So let me clarify where we both are at this moment. I'm still on Waddle.
Yeah.
And I've got my sword in.
You're raising your sword to him.
Yeah, raising my sword to him.
You just
Where
had this
am I in
image of Snoober
proportion?
flash
Oh,
through
that's
your
right.
mind, as if this
Snoobies.
guy could be Snoober something is weird, something strange is going on right now. You can't tell where the edges of this platform that you're on are, but you clearly see this person, somebody, this guy, Snooper, I don't know.
Wait, like his mask fell off, or just like his visage completely changed?
You got like a flash of Snooper.
Oh, a flash of Snooper.
Yeah. Just as you bring your sword down, this is your setback, is that you hesitate. There's hesitation in your swing because it looks like Snooper.
So do I move again, or does he move?
It's your turn.
Well, I want to understand how fast Karp's like synapses fire. I mean, how cat-like, how loth cat-like are her reflexes? Like,
that would be.
Is it one of those things where you sort of immediately? Well, my perception's not high. Is that the thing that I would need to? I think
it would be whatever you're using to fight with, right?
Am I cool?
No, you're using probably melee with the sword or the lightsaber.
Well, I want to understand how fast I would perceive whether or not this is really Snooper. Have we established how
we'll see when you
intellectually quick Karp is on the draw, or?
I think it'll depend on how that black die shows up on your roll.
How long of a tail do these Vractals have? Like, are they big and sturdy enough to quick whip a guy's feet from out from under him, or?
Vractals' equipment, in air quotes, is beak. So they're more biters.
Okay. Can I make not Karp move, but the Vractal move?
What do you mean? To do what?
Karp's sort of not frozen, but she doesn't understand what's going on. Can I make it so that the Vractal takes my turn with an instinct to bite? So substitute Vractal for me?
I'll allow it.
While using my ranged...
No.
Melee?
No, if it is the Vractal's turn, the Vractal is using the Vractal stats.
Oh wait, the Vractal has better stats than me. It'll be fine.
Not necessarily.
Okay. Oh no, I don't want to lose my trusty steed. Oh well, the decision has been made.
You can roll for the Vractal.
Okay. I start out with the worst die. The scariest die.
It's a lot of threats.
It's a lot of threats. Well, it's a very threatening situation.
It's still a failure.
Why is a triumph a failure?
A triumph is a failure when you roll one triumph and one failure, because the triumph is a success, and a success and failure cancel out.
But it's an uber success.
So the success and failure...
So wouldn't it take an uber failure to cancel out?
No. The success and failure cancel each other out, and you are left with 3 threats and a triumph. So as Karp raises her sword and hesitates...
Wait, no. Oh, yeah, okay.
The Vractal begins to take initiative, and you want it to swipe its tail?
I think I wanted to chomp because we established that it had no tail. Or
well, it has a tail.
It has a tail.
It's not. It's just not meant for swiping, and maybe that's what happened because it was a failure. It sort of swipes its tail towards this thing, and as it does so, it just sort of turns itself around, and with 3 threats, as you turn around completely, you don't see it. It's lost. You've lost sight of it. And it's dark.
I can't look over my shoulder.
It's dark again, all around you. You don't see Morla. You don't see this guy. You don't see anything. You have a triumph.
I can see him again.
No.
I hear... Wait, so do I hear bodily contact as the Vractal's tail makes connection with his legs?
No, you just hear it swish through the air.
What could I possibly use as a triumph in this circumstance, then?
You could...
What am I allowed to use as a triumph, sir?
Do you want me to give you a triumph?
I will let you offer me a triumph, and I will decide whether to take it.
You hear Morla's Vractal and a shout from Morla somewhere close by, somewhere that you can track down.
She alive?
Is that triumphant enough for you?
I accept that.
Okay.
I accept your offering.
This whole encounter is really the race to be the hero.
Are you still trying to make her the the Karp of...
She may be
the calamari of legend?
She might be the calamari of legend. We'll see.
If this whole thing is just engineered to get the sword away from me, I want everyone to tweet in, let Karp have a sword, hashtag.
Oh, bummer for her, I guess.
All right.
So you hear the sounds of shouts and fighting, and the chirping of Morla's Vractal not far away, maybe like 30 or 40 feet away, but you can't quite see where they are. It's a lot of successes. You hear Morla scream, and the black smoke around you dissipates for a second. You can see her about 30 feet away, standing by herself, and the smoke closes back in.
Do I see in that instant where Darth...
No, you don't. You only see Morla and her fractal.
What's Morla doing? Just standing there? Is she on her fractal?
She's on her knees.
She's on her knees?
Yeah.
Is she hurt? Do I see blood?
You don't see blood, but she doesn't seem unhurt.
Okay. So I don't want to risk running to her and bringing the fight to her since she's already hurt. And I feel like this entire circumstance is engineered still to try to get her to be the Mon Calamari in the mural.
Hey, if she rolls well enough, you've avoided rolling.
Well, you know
so
what?
far.
She's far away right now. And that suspicion is now going to influence my decisions. Did we get any indication of what makes the smoke dissipate?
No.
Can I hear anything through the fog again?
Yes, and it's close to you.
It being the Darth?
You hear a voice very close to you. What is your discipline?
My discipline is 3 green.
Okay. I'm rolling those negative dice.
Oh.
You hear a voice right over your shoulder. Your friend is not the hero she says she is. Do you have what it takes to take me on?
I throw an elbow.
You throw an elbow and you pull something in your shoulder when you do. You take a strain.
Oh, okay, I can take a strain. All right, so I take a strain, but does my elbow connect?
Your elbow goes back and you feel like something is holding onto it.
Ooh, okay.
Your turn. What do you do?
So I assume it's my left elbow that
Yeah, because...
It's not my elbow with the sword in it.
Right. It was the one.
It's not my elbow with the sword on the other end.
Yeah. The sword, the blaster that was... You keep your blaster on your left side, your left side. I don't know. Well, whatever. You holstered your blaster earlier. Whichever hand is not holding the blaster.
All right. So explain to me a little further. What feels like is holding my elbow back? Is it solid, or is it just sort of like a murky kind of resistance? Like a...
Do you turn?
What's that?
Do you turn around?
I have feeling. I have nerve receptors. I don't need to turn around to have that.
It feels like something's grabbing onto your elbow.
So like a physical hand.
Mm-hmm.
I straighten the arm that's in the grip and see if I can grip his elbow. Locked arm in arm.
So you're doing a brawl check against him? What are you trying to do?
I guess.
You just want to grab his arm?
Okay, so if someone were to grab my elbow, presumably, dear listener, please know that this is making so much more sense when I'm acting it out.
Is it though?
No, it is. Don't let Mark be the Darth in the dark of your imagination. I extend my arm just to sort of, I want to get a purchase on something, like to understand whether this is something corporeal that's grabbing onto me, or...
You can feel it. You can feel something there grabbing onto you.
Something that feels like a hand.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel like I do what I do.
Okay. What do you think you would roll?
I would try to lock his elbow as he is trying to lock mine. Because I've got bony little elbows and it's harder to keep a grip. In a way, that would almost break his grip on my elbow. Straightening it up that suddenly. Wait, it's holding me back or it's pushing me forward?
It's holding you back.
So there's nothing to stop me shoving my elbow further back and making his nose break. Or his mask break.
Awesome. Sure.
Okay, I do that.
Okay, you're rolling a brawl check.
All right. Can't remember if I'm any good at that.
You're not. So how many...
2 green.
Well, how many ranks do you have in brawl?
2.
So you have no ranks in brawl. What's your willpower?
Wait, why don't I have any ranks in brawl?
Because you don't have any ranks in brawl. You're just rolling your brawn, which is 2.
Oh, okay. They both start with BR, and only one of them has spelled out in full. So I never remember what I'm looking at. What's my what?
Willpower?
Willpower is 3.
All right. So you are rolling 3 greens, not 2.
Okay. What against what?
2 purples and 1 black. Actually, 2 blacks because he's got defense, and you rolled that failure on the fear check earlier.
But I feel like I've rolled a triumph since then. Is that carrying me over at all?
That was your horse. You didn't roll that triumph.
My trusty steed.
Do you want to flip to upgrade one of those greens to a yellow?
No, it doesn't ever do me any good. I've lost faith in the dice, Mark.
All right, your brawn is 2. You got 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, you got 3 and 1 advantage. So that's 5 damage and 1 advantage. So
that's pretty good for an impossible roll.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt him. So
no, but I like crack his mask, right?
No, not at all.
What are my successes for?
Your successes were to hit him and do damage to him.
Okay.
But they don't even get through his armor.
But his armor's a little thinner now?
No.
What?
It's not. So you were like pushing your elbow back further or trying to like grab onto him and...
Yeah, I'm pushing my elbow back further because he's trying to prevent me from bringing it forward. So I do the opposite of what he's expecting and shove it back.
Yeah.
To crack his like...
You feel it come into contact.
Mask.
You feel it come into contact with something solid. And it is very solid and freezing cold. You have 1 advantage. Do you have any ideas for it?
He's surprised. He doesn't expect me to do that.
Okay. He gets a setback on his roll.
Yeah.
So you feel your elbow come into contact with something hard and cold. And as you do so, that elbow is pulled back even further. And you see that red, that sword, that lightsaber sort of thing swing into your peripheral vision from your left side. And you see it swing and come at you, like come at your shoulder, and it passes straight through you. And you're going to take 7 strain.
That's all a sword cutting through me does to me?
It swings through you and you don't feel pain, you feel cold. And it's almost like you're getting frostbite as it swings through you. And you hear footsteps running and getting closer and closer. And you see Morla running towards you. You don't see her fractal with her anymore. But she is now very close to you and Waddle and this Darth Ascuris. It's your turn again. What's your strain at?
12.
Out of?
14. Because I started out with 4, I think.
Okay.
Or 3 or 4. I don't know. But it's 12 now.
What are you going to do on your turn?
I feel like eventually I'm just going to have to swing this darn sword. So I swing the darn sword.
You have a sword.
I've got sword. I might as well use it. I try to sting him with my stinger.
So you're rolling your ranks in... What is it? Brawl or lightsaber?
Can I tell you what I want? No, it wouldn't be lightsaber.
Well, what does the weapon use?
It's a sword.
Right. It might use lightsaber. It uses melee.
Melee, yes.
So you have 1 rank in melee, and you have to use willpower instead of brawn,
3.
which is actually good for you.
Yes.
So you're rolling 2 greens and 1 yellow. Against 2 blacks and 2 purples.
So this is what I'm rolling?
Yep. Unless you have an idea for a boost.
My idea for a boost is that on my lizard steed, I have the advantage of the high ground.
I don't know. He's like right up behind you.
Yeah, but I'm sitting on a it's not like we're riding go-karts into battle. I mean, it's like the size of a horse, right?
Like
I feel like I would have the advantage of a tall person on a horse, and I'm 5'2".
It seemed like he was right behind you. Like
he's elbow grabbing height. He's not look me in the eye height.
That sword it was coming straight on from my
perspective. Maybe from his it was an upward swing.
Like he did this. You can take an easy boost and aim.
Okay.
Yeah, you turn and aim.
I'll take a boost any way I can get it. All right. It's a relatively successful roll.
That's a pretty good roll. And wouldn't you know it, those yellows turned up to be a triumph and an advantage for you.
At last, the light side points have proven themselves in this darkest of circumstances.
What does Karp do?
So I sting with my sword, which is why I'm so much more successful at dealing damage, and I drive it straight through. So, okay.
He's like behind you.
Yeah, but I'm, I've got...
You like jab it around yourself.
Yeah, I've got like a pretty functioning rotator cuff. I mean, I feel like I can maneuver pretty good. You don't like
flip the sword and jab it under
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, so I bring the handle into my left hand, and with both hands on the hilt, drive it backwards.
Yeah.
into
Drive it like under your arm, past your side, into
the hearth
thing.
of Darth.
And you hear the sound of metal on metal as it pierces the chest plate of this thing. And as your sword goes in, the flames, the fire, the stuff that this thing is made out of expand outward and like puff out. And you hear no, and he evaporates, and the smoke all around you evaporates as well.
Really?
Yeah. And Morla comes running up to you out of breath.
I am a combat genius.
You have a triumph still. What's your triumph?
Ain't none of my buddies dead?
They aren't. Morla looks injured. Morla looks tired. Not necessarily injured. You don't see any blood, but she looks almost out of it.
Yeah.
You look almost out of it. You're at 12 of 14 strain. And Morla says, I can't believe you did it.
I can, I say, striking a heroic pose.
You defeated Darth Iscurus. You really are the chosen one.
Do I... does my sword have a sheath? I can't remember if I established whether or not it's got a sheath.
Yeah, you found a sheath in the guy's apartment.
I do a really Wait, does my sword have any... Is it stuck in the armor? Like, can I...
No, there's no armor. There's nothing there.
So he dissipates. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't... It's not like that embarrassing moment where
No.
I have to sort of put my foot up against his breastplate and yank it out.
He evaporated.
Okay. All right, so with a complicated little twiddle, I, wave my sword in the air and then I stick it back in the sheath and swing it over my back in a really smooth motion, which is the very first thing that I learned on YouTube. HoloTube.
Looking back towards the village, you see that there is still a fight going on between the droids.
Did I sheath my sword too soon?
Well,
now I've got a blaster I can use.
Yeah. So, you still have a triumph. What do you want to do with that triumph?
Have I not used it yet?
No, you have not used that triumph.
Can I get an extra maneuver out of it then?
Combat's over.
Oh, well, not for these other people. Can't I help?
You can. Might hurt.
How are they doing on their own? They holding their own pretty good, or we talking like pitchforks versus...
It is pitchforks versus blasters.
Okay, well, I should probably go for the people with... I'm having trouble anticipating not doing anything while the poor pitchforked folk are getting blasted out.
During the previous battle in the town square, a blacksmith came out with a big hammer, big Aqualish guy.
Okay.
And started messing people up. And you said something along the lines of, wait, if there's a blacksmith, why don't they have more swords? And I said, well, Morla wasn't the only one to go up to the surface to look for your sword. Do you want your triumph to be that those search parties come back at an opportune moment?
Yes.
Tell me what happens.
Okay, so all along this tumultuous time for however many, I don't know, eons, these search parties, these sword search parties have been out looking for this sword. And while they've never found the sword, they've found lots of swords. Just so many pointy things. Any of which they never really know which is the elder sword.
The elder.
So they just get all the swords they can, hoping one of them's the sword to bring back for inspection from the elders. That's why it's called the elder sword. And so they all come back at the same time, charging through the stalks of corn-like grain.
Corn-like seaweed?
Yes.
It's all seaweed down
Can't
here.
remember what the crop is.
It's very wet down here.
No. That's why Karp feels very at home. And they all come charging through the tall stalks of seaweed, and they see the battles afoot, and in a sudden momentous charge of energy and like this is that time knowledge, they all rush onto the scene, stabbing these droids who, I have to feel like at this point in the Star Wars universe, droids are constructed so that they can, I don't know, withstand an EMP or something, but not, I don't know, can they?
No.
Have we established the use of EMPs in the Star Wars universe?
It is ion blasts that take down droids.
But, I mean, my point is that at this point in the timeline of the Star Wars universe, droids are not really designed with the expectation that people are going to stab them with swords.
It's probably true.
Yeah. And so I have to think that this is a weirdly effective tactic because while some of them have scavenged blasters from the outside, upside, downside, kitty corner side world out there, none of them actually think to pull them in that moment. All of them just draw their swords, wondering if they are that Mon Calamari. Just taking
Even
that
if they're
chance.
not Mon Calamari.
Even if they're not. You know, it's maybe the murals were wrong. You know, maybe the artist was short-sighted, very nearsighted. And just every kind of vague blob looks like a Mount Calamari to them.
The battle is long and hard, but the villagers of the Vale are victorious.
And I help, right? I'm not just kicking back on a porch at this point, or I feel like I help.
Yeah,
I help.
You would help. Karp and Morla return to battle riding their trusty fractals and see it to the end.
Oh, so her fractal is okay.
Yeah.
Or she just gets a new one.
It was okay.
Okay.
And as all Star Wars battles end, after the fight is finished, the news of the defeat of Darth Escurus is exciting to everybody and it spreads quickly throughout the town and the homes around it. And it's a big party.
Yeah. It's my favorite part of every battle is the after battle.
The after party. Yeah. They pile up the droids and light a fire, and there's food and music and drums, and everybody wants to meet Karp.
In the spirit of the occasion, and let this be a sign of the momentous occasion, I allow someone to give me an Alderanian ale.
Wow.
In a tankard.
Yeah, they made it.
Yeah. Some homebrewed Coruscant style Alderanian ale.
So that's one step for Karp.
I will immediately take it back, though.
Yeah.
This is one step with the step to be taken back as soon as I exit this area.
The next step, I'm wondering, is as groups of children come up looking to hug the hero.
Do I allow them?
Yeah.
I kind of make that sort of, you know how you have a cat that kind of puts up with being petted but doesn't really accept the affection or, you know, it just kind of vaguely tolerates.
Mm-hmm.
I think the kids come up and hug me and I sort of awkwardly pat them on the heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And the people of the town offer to let Karp stay the night if they want. This fight started in the evening and it's pretty late now. Is that something Karp would take them up on?
Have we established that I didn't double park my Airstream?
No, we did not establish that you...
Then no, I don't say the night. No, I take my triumphant leave, okay. I would think. I accepted a beer and I accept a hug from a child. And
give them a pat.
I defeated their sworn nemesis, so I feel like I really have done my part.
And you insist on leaving, and Morla insists on taking you back up to where they found you. It is a long journey through the old hover train station, along the tracks, through the sewer, up the stairs and ramps and narrow alleys that Karp knows, back to the place that they found you and your Airstream. You and Morla chat along the way. She tells you about the village and more about the village and people and reiterates their thanks and that you are welcome to come back anytime. It's much quieter than it was when you left this morning.
It's because they have noise suppressors that match the holograms, which tell us what time of day we're supposed to think it is.
Well, in this case, the noise suppressors are clones who arrested a bunch of people.
Yeah. I mean, different ways of achieving an end, I guess.
The holograms of Palpatine still tower over the streets as he reiterates his new Imperial regime message. And Morla says, thank you.
I graciously, with, as gracious as Karp can be, which is not very, say, no, do I offer for them to call upon me if they ever need me again? No, what I say is I hope there's no more murals of me fight nobody.
That is the only mural we have in town.
Okay, good.
There has not been an artist quite like Duralithes for
Well,
hundreds of years.
Let's hope that's the end of the story.
As far as we know, Darth Ascaris is gone. Now that the hunting parties are back, we will seek out his final resting place and be sure that he is truly gone. You're welcome to join us if you like.
That's okay. But I get to keep the sword, right?
Very well. Yes, the sword is yours.
I feel like if you feel the actual guy, like any sharp object would do, really.
You've clearly earned it.
Thank you. A stray loth cat purrs.
Yep. He's dark. He's got a scar over one eye. He rubs up against your leg.
Hops up on my airstream.
He's got a clipped ear.
Oh. Tux is a stray loth cat I feed sometimes. But he's probably chipped by a clone. So probably best if, I don't know, we're not always in the same place. Because if he's chipped and he's always with me, that's as good as a GPS tracking system.
I'm sure you have a scanner. You probably use it daily.
Wait, is it harmful to pass through organic tissue, the scanner? I scan myself for it daily.
Yeah, I'm sure you scan yourself daily for chips. Morla says goodbye. The Loth cat, actually on closer inspection, it's a Tuca, continues to rub on your legs, and as you get in your airstream, attempts to follow you in.
Shoo, kitty, shoo.
And as you get in there, you feel your comlink buzz as you enter your airstream.
I heard Dukes at the door.
Yep.
Wait, is it like any kind of special code that I've...
It's Snoober.
Oh, it's Snoopy? Which is how I answer it.
Hey, Karp, are you okay? I've been trying to call you all day.
Oh, Snoopy, you won't believe the adventure I've just had.
Oh, another adventure.
Wait, does Snooper believe Karp's adventures at this point?
No.
He's just gonna try and, like...
I mean, at least on one of them, you had Kurt Blaster to corroborate, but Kurt Blaster was heavily drunk when Snooper met him.
That's right. Heavily drunk on a Dixie cup of ale.
So what are you doing? You gonna come tell me about your adventure?
Oh, Snoopy, try and stop me.
You know I can't.
Oh, wait. No, I don't like the dynamic we're establishing here. Because I want it to be known that Snoober loves and adores Karp just as much as Karp loves and adores Snoopy.
Snoober's just a little more sarcastic. Snoober says, well, I got some more info about the Dims. You want to go over that now? You want to go over it tomorrow? I mean, you could tell me about what you've been up to, why you haven't been answering my calls today.
It's a date, Snoopy. And I sign off and I rev up my airstream, ready to meet my beloved.
And head down to the Blacklight District.
Yes, the end.
The end.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Coruscant Nights. Coruscant Nights is a production of Nightcast Creative. To find out more about us and our projects, visit nightcastcreative.com. Thanks to Nikki for playing on these episodes. For more of Nikki, check out the Other Place podcast or visit nikkismetters.com.
She is right. Morla less.
Oh boy.
I was really glad that tracked because I wasn't sure if I was going to enunciate it correctly.
Mm-hmm.